Allahu, 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 Allah. Allahu, 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 Allah.
Our next guest, who I want to introduce now, is Brother Hanif J. Williams. He flew in from Richmond, Virginia. Williams is the host of the award-winning Hanif J. Williams Show, an online radio podcast with 70,000 listeners from over 6 different countries. His non-profit youth development foundation provides assistance, resources, counseling, and mentors 18,000 international youth. So I can go on and on about Hanif J. Williams. I was able to spend the last couple of days with him, alhamdulillah, with his wife. Very good people. They are completely dedicated to the deen. They're completely dedicated to helping other people out. And so without any further ado, again, I would like to call Brother Hanif J. Williams to the stage.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام عليكم يا رسول الله الصلاة والسلام عليكم يا حبيب الله الصلاة والسلام عليكم يا محمد أحمد مصطفى صلى الله عليه وسلم أشراف الأنبياء صلى الله على الخير خلقه نور أرشه أفضل الأنبياء والمرسلين تسليما كثيرا رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Allahu Akbar. I want to make sure I still was in Miami. I sat at a table here at an aqiqah about 60 days ago with Basid and Azhar Sahib. And we was eating biryani. And Bassett began to tell me about the youth here in Miami and the vision that he wanted to put forth bi'idhnillahi ta'ala with the permission of Allah. And right there at that aqiqah, I watched him plan it right there. We had babies on our lap and it was similar to what you see now. It was a beautiful aqiqah. And it has materialized. People who listen to the show that is my namesake, know one thing: I speak straightforward. I pride myself, not in kibr, not in like arrogance, but I'm very proud that because of this platform, I have been the voice of the youth, and particularly here in America, but of course, we've reached international territory, walhamdulillah. I delivered a 10-minute talk after Salatul Isha Thursday night. And I said, standing right here, that it doesn't matter if I speak Saturday or not. The floor for you, in particular the youth, to ask questions that other people find sensitive to ask. Moreover, immediately after this, I, along with our guest, who's my uncle, Maulana Shaikh Shafayat, and Basit and Fahad, and Imam Suhaib Webb, we will be here to listen to your challenges and triumphs, because everything's not always bad. I want to reiterate before I go into what I have to say. We're here when we open up the floor after Imam Suhaib Webb speaks after Salatul Maghrib. We're going to open up the floor so the youth can ask questions that are sensitive to ask that people don't ask normally. Everything is addressed. So now we'll speak about social justice. I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge and speak about the death of my ancestry brother in Ferguson, Missouri, Mike Brown. We are watching this thing unfold. This idea, as what our Imam Ibrahim Sahib said, of someone's life being less, not only is it the non-Islamic way, not the Islamic way, but it's not the way of any of the Abrahamic faiths. Where we are witnessing people's lives just get exterminated. And do you understand how it's getting more and more bold? It's getting more and more bold now. The next thing will happen probably live on camera, and they'll still be exonerated in the court of law. Because of this. As a Muslim, my next door neighbor has the right to be an atheist. My next door neighbor as a Muslim, according to Rasul Akram sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, has a right to be a Jew, a Christian, a Buddhist, a Hindu, so on and so forth. He or she even can choose to live their life with whatever sexual preference they choose to live by and leave within complete peace next to us. The same images that we see in Palestine of the children that are wrongfully and they are tyrannized and killed is the same way we should feel about Michael Brown, because they're both human beings. I truly wish that, I don't know who understands Arabic in here, but I truly wish you was paying attention to what Imam Ibrahim said when he was speaking about us being the sons of Adam. I truly wish you was listening to what he said about all of us being, that's equality right there. He didn't say that, but that's what that means. It's equality. It's no selective humanitarianism. I said it on social media. The Palestine thing's been happening for much. And I posed the question, and it went viral. I said, where was everybody for Trayvon Martin? Michael Brown happens. It kind of like slows up the things in Gaza and the things in Palestine, and no one's saying anything about Michael Brown. What is this? He's a human being. He had dreams and hopes. It was completely shattered. You cannot say that you're a humanitarian. It's nothing selective about being a humanitarian. So I'll give you an example. Let me be crystal clear before I give you the example. I never promote my radio show. My wife is here right now. We sat and we built this show in a four-cornered purple room of my daughter's room. And we built it, وَمَا تَوْفِيقِ إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ. No success comes but from Allah. And we built it. I didn't go on a big campaign. There wasn't a whole bunch of money behind me. That's why no one controls what I say. I did 2 shows. We did 2 shows on Palestine. I'm African American. I'm not Palestinian, but I'm a humanitarian. I've done my show, our show, peaked during the time of Trayvon Martin. I did not use that as an opportunity to get ratings. I did another show on Palestine. But because 100,000 people listened to the first show about Palestine, what do you think the sponsors wanted to do at that time? When I announced that we was going to do it again for the second time, I pulled all the sponsors off of it, the second. If I just scanned 100,000, the sponsors would want to be on the second show that did 80,000. I pulled them all off of that. I said, no one is going to capitalize off of this. I said, and when we go off of air, I will know who was my real sponsors. When the second show ends, I'll know who, and all my sponsors stayed, alhamdulillah. My point is, culturally, I should have done a Trayvon Martin show. But of course, I take care of home first, the home of the ummah of Rasul Akram sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Then I'll worry about the cultural things last. The last Jummah, I sat right here. Last time I was here, 60 days ago. And my uncle, Shaikh Muhammad Shafayat, stood right here and talked about culture, how we put it above this deen, the way of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you say it that way, we're putting culture above Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you just say religion, it doesn't have the same psychological effect. You're putting culture above the greatest and most perfect, Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the social justice has to start in your house. It has to start in your home. And some people say, I'm a Baba, I'm 65 years old, I'm just stuck in my ways. I don't know any excuses that's going to be accepted on Yawm al-Qiyamah. I don't know. The idea of standing before you all comes with a huge responsibility, and I stand before you all with deep humility and great gratitude. I believe in having access to the people. Your leaders having access to people. So I'll take you back to that aqiqah with Basit Hassan as I segue into speaking about my brother Imam Suhaib Webb. And we all know him. We know he's a YouTube sensation, and he's the Imam of Boston, and all of the things that come. Well, alhamdulillah. I said, you know what, Basit? I said, I think Imam Suhaib Webb would be good for this program. And Azhar said, who's not here, he's at a spiritual retreat in the mountains. I said, oh yeah, he'll be good. I said, hold on, I'm going to call him right now. I picked up my phone. Imam Suhaib Webb got on the phone. He said, book me, I'm there. This is the access. This is the access. He's real. Imam Ibrahim is real. You can touch them. You can grab them. They real. Sheikh Muhammad Shafayat is real. But then I'll tell you something else that Imam Suhaib Webb doesn't even know that I'm going to say, that he probably even forgot that he did, because this is a part of his character. This gets me extremely emotional, and I've held this back. And I sought permission driving up here at the parking lot before I told the story, because the lady who I'm speaking about is watching this right now in California. That really happened. So we went to California in January. We had a beautiful event there, alhamdulillah. Some people was in a workshop of mine, they connected with me, alhamdulillah. So we began our counseling services with this particular lady. Her name is Shamsa. And I didn't hear from her from some time, and I said, normally she'll check in and we'll check on each other. And I just sent her, I said, what's wrong? Is everything okay? She said, you know, my father's very, very sick. He's dying of cancer. And it struck home to me because my older brother Tariq, rahimahullah, he ultimately met Maut because of cancer. So I really related to her. So 2 or 3 days was going back and forth. I was checking up on her, making sure she was emotionally right. And she said something to me. She did not know about my relationship with Imam Suhaib Wahid. She said, my father she said, my father, every day, he goes through excruciating pain because of this. She said, but he's happy sometimes. I said, when's he happy? He said, he watches Imam Suhaib's lectures before he goes to sleep. I called Imam Suhaib Wahid. I said, call this number right now. He says, I'm on it. He calls Shamsa, Lady Shamsa, speaks to the Abu. The Abu gets called back to Allah Azza wa Jalla 6 days later. And she said, if you could see my father's face when she was listening, talking to Imam Suhaib Wahid. It's like he was, like she said, it's like he was healed again. I said, lady, let me explain something to you. Let me take Imam Suhaib Wahid out the scenario. That's the access that I'm talking about. No assistant. And when this is a very sensitive subject for me to ask her permission to speak about. She said, it's Imam Suhaib Wahid. She says, of course, tell everybody, the whole world about this. My father was so happy transitioning back because of that. Imam Suhaib Wahid is going to speak, and he's going to do what Allah Azza wa Jalla has given him as a gift, walhamdulillah. Get your questions ready for the youth. Most of you email me. And the issues that you have. He's real. This wasn't something that we just scripted and wrote and planned. He didn't know that I was even going to say this. That's the social justice that I'm talking about. Here. I see the youth here. Hopefully you came and you become inspired and uplifted because of this. So we'll see. وآخر دعوانا والحمد لله رب العالمين السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
الله 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 الله